The Atacama Desert glowed under the silver moonlight as Dr. Maya Chen calibrated her equipment. Tonight's meteor shower was predicted to be spectacular. But Maya wasn't here for the light show. She was hunting for extraterrestrial mineral compositions. "Anything yet?" Raphael's voice crackled through her radio. "Nothing beyond the usual silicates," Maya replied, adjusting her spectrometer. At 32, she had earned a reputation for finding what others missed. Her colleagues at the Santiago Observatory had laughed when she requested this expedition, but Director Vargas had approved it anyway. The first meteorite streaked across the sky, leaving a brilliant green trail. Maya tracked it, recording its trajectory. The second followed minutes later, then dozens more, illuminating the desert like daylight. "Maya, I'm picking up something strange," Raphael said. "About 2 kilometers east of you, the seismograph is going crazy." Maya packed her equipment and drove her jeep across the rugged terrain. No, the coordinates led her to a small crater, freshly formed, but oddly smooth as if something had melted the sand into glass. "This isn't a typical impact site," she muttered, collecting samples. Her instruments detected unusual radiation patterns, nothing harmful but definitely not natural. As she circled the crater, sand beneath her feet collapsed, sending her tumbling down a newly formed sinkhole. Maya landed hard, the air knocked from her lungs. "Raphael," she called into her radio, but only static answered. Her flashlight revealed an underground chamber, seemingly artificial, with smooth walls etched with symbols unlike any ancient language she recognized. And in the center stood an oval crystalline structure, glowing with soft violet light. "Impossible," Maya whispered, approaching cautiously. The structure was translucent, resembling a cocoon or pod. Within it, Maya could make out a humanoid figure slender. With delicate features and skin that shimmered with a subtle purple hue, the being appeared feminine, perfectly preserved and seemingly asleep. Maya's scientific mind raced. This wasn't a recent arrival. The chamber predated the meteor shower by centuries, perhaps millennia. The meteor had merely exposed what had long been hidden. For hours, she documented everything, taking photographs and samples from the chamber walls. The symbols seemed to shift when viewed from different angles, suggesting a language beyond 3 dimensions. "Dr. Chen, do you copy?" Raphael's voice finally broke through. "I'm here," she replied, her voice trembling with excitement. "Raphael, I found something. Something impossible." It took 3 days to set up a proper research station. Maya refused to leave the site, working tirelessly to understand the crystalline pod and its occupant. The government had been notified, but bureaucracy moved slowly, giving her precious time. On the 7th night, as Maya dozed at her makeshift desk, a hairline fracture appeared in the pod's surface. The crack spread slowly, emitting a soft chiming sound that woke her. Maya watched, transfixed, as the pod's shell began to dissolve like morning frost under sunlight. The figure inside stirred, fingers twitching slightly, and then, in the quiet desert night, Maya heard it, the unmistakable sound of a heartbeat, growing stronger with each passing second. The being's eyes opened, revealing irises that shimmered like galaxies. The crystalline pod dissolved completely, leaving its occupant curled on the chamber floor. Maya approached cautiously, medical kit in hand. The being's purple-tinged skin glistened with residual fluid, her chest rising and falling with shallow breaths. "Hello," Maya whispered. "Can you understand me?" The being's eyes fluttered open, deep violet irises flecked with points of light like distant stars. She examined Maya with intense curiosity before attempting to stand. Her movements were graceful but uncertain, as if relearning how to use her body. "I am here." The voice was melodic but halting, lips forming unfamiliar shapes around the words. "You woke me." Maya nodded slowly. "My name is Maya Chen. I'm a scientist." "You were in that pod. Do you know how long?" The being tilted her head, considering. "Time flows differently. Your star has cycled many times." She gestured toward the ceiling, presumably indicating the sun. "What should I call you?" Maya asked. The being made a sound like wind through crystal chimes, her name in her native tongue, Maya realized. "In your sounds, perhaps Lyra?" Over the next few days, Maya kept Lyra's existence secret from everyone except Raphael, who brought supplies and helped monitor the chamber. Lyra learned English with astonishing speed, though her speech remained poetic and sometimes cryptic. "Your world sings differently than I remember," Lyra said one evening as Maya showed her the night sky from the mouth of the chamber. "The patterns have shifted. The stars move over time," Maya explained. "If you've been here long enough." "I came when the great ice covered this land," Lyra replied simply. Maya's breath caught. "The last ice age? That would be at least 12,000 years ago." Lyra nodded, seemingly unsurprised by the passage of millennia. She reached out tentatively, her fingers brushing Maya's cheek. "You were like them, but different. Brighter somehow." The touch sent warmth cascading through Maya's body. There was something intimate about being the first human Lyra had encountered in her new awakening, a connection forming between them that transcended conventional understanding. As Lyra gained strength, Maya brought her to the research tent. The alien was fascinated by Maya's equipment, understanding concepts that had taken humanity centuries to develop. "Your people see only fragments," Lyra observed, examining a spectrum analysis. "Reality flows in currents you cannot yet perceive." One night, as a sandstorm raged outside their shelter, Lyra began to shiver uncontrollably. Maya wrapped her in blankets, but the alien's temperature continued to drop. "What's happening?" Maya asked, panic rising in her throat. "This vessel," adjusting Lyra managed between chattering teeth, "need warmth." Without hesitation, Maya slid under the blankets, pulling Lyra close. The alien's skin was cool to the touch, but where they made contact, a pleasant tingling sensation spread through Maya's body. "Your energy," Lyra murmured, her trembling subsiding. "It helps." They remained entwined through the night. Maya listening to Lyra's heartbeat slightly faster than human, normal gradually synchronized with her own. By morning, something had shifted between them, a bond forming that neither fully understood but both treasured. Raphael arrived with troubling news the next day. "Someone's asking questions in Santiago." A man in a government suit, American accent. "He knows something's been found." Maya looked at Lyra, who now wore borrowed clothes and had tied her iridescent hair back. "We need to leave now." The small mountain cabin belonged to Maya's grandfather. Nestled in the Andean foothills, where pine forests met sweeping valleys. No one knew about this place except family, the perfect refuge, while they determined their next move. "Your world has such variety," Lyra said, standing on the porch as sunset painted the mountains gold. "On my world, the landscapes are more uniform. You remember your home?" Maya asked, joining her. In fragments, like dreams upon waking, Lyra's expression turned wistful. "I remember being sent. A mission of great importance, though the purpose remains clouded." Inside the cabin, Maya checked her satellite phone. 3 missed calls from the observatory director. She'd told him she was taking personal leave, but he must have connected her absence with the strange readings from the desert. "Someone is looking for us," she told Lyra. "For you specifically?" "Yes," Lyra nodded. "I have felt their searching thoughts. One mind in particular focused, determined." In a nondescript office in Santiago, Dominic Reeves studied satellite imagery of the desert site. The crystalline residue from the pod had tested unlike anything in known science. Whoever had emerged was a discovery that would reshape human understanding of the cosmos, and someone had taken her. "The vehicle tracks lead northwest," his assistant noted. "We've identified the scientist Dr. Maya Chen, astrophysicist. Brilliant but eccentric. Known for fringe theories about extraterrestrial intelligence." "Find her," Reeves ordered. "Whatever it takes." Back at the cabin, Maya woke to find Lyra sitting cross-legged on the floor, surrounded by a faint purplish glow. The alien's eyes were closed, her breathing deep and measured. "Lyra, I am remembering," she replied without opening her eyes. "This planet's energy is helping restore what was lost during my sleep." Maya sat beside her, mesmerized by the gentle luminescence that seemed to flow between Lyra and the floor beneath her. "May I join you?" she asked. Lyra opened her eyes, smiling. "Take my hands," her fingers interlaced. And Maya gasped as sensation flooded through her, images of vast crystal cities. Skies filled with aurora-like ribbons of light. Beings like Lyra moving with purpose and harmony. "Your home," Maya whispered. "One of many worlds we tended," Lyra confirmed. We were guardians, travelers, preservers of balance between realms. The connection deepened, and Maya felt herself drawn closer, their foreheads touching. Lyra's breath mingled with hers, sweet and carrying a hint of something like cinnamon. Without conscious thought, Maya leaned forward, her lips meeting Lyra's in a kiss that seemed to ignite the air around them. The glow intensified, enveloping them both. Maya felt Lyra's essence intertwining with her own, not just physical but spiritual. An intimacy beyond anything she had experienced. When they finally separated, Maya found herself trembling. That was ... double quotes, she began. Sharing, Lyra finished, her voice tender. Among my people, it is how we truly know one another. 3 days later, as dawn broke over the mountains, Maya spotted the black SUVs winding up the forest road. She shook Lyra awake. They've found us. There's a path through the back forest, Maya whispered, hastily gathering essentials. My grandfather used to tell me it leads to an ancient cave system. The local people considered it sacred. Lyra stood by the window, her expression eerily calm as she watched the vehicles approach. This seeker, his mind is not malevolent, merely determined. He believes he protects your world. Dominic Reeves, Maya said. I found his name in some classified files, Raphael hacked. Former military intelligence, now works for a government division so secret it doesn't have an official name. They slipped out the rear door as the first SUV reached the cabin's clearing. The forest welcomed them, ancient pines creating shadows perfect for concealment. Maya led the way, following markers only her family would recognize, a particular arrangement of stones. A tree with a distinctive notch. After an hour of climbing upward through increasingly rugged terrain, they reached a narrow fissure in the mountainside, barely visible behind a curtain of hanging vines. This is it, Maya said, catching her breath. The entrance to Cueva del Cielo, Cave of the Sky. Inside, the temperature dropped noticeably. Their flashlights revealed a tunnel descending deeper into the mountain. Walls embedded with strange blue-white crystals that reminded Maya of the material from Lyra's pod. These stones, Lyra murmured, touching the wall reverently. They sing the old songs. The tunnel opened into a vast chamber where the crystals grew in dramatic formations, creating natural columns that stretched from floor to ceiling. At the center stood what appeared to be an altar of some kind, carved from the same crystalline material. Lyra approached it, her purple skin taking on the blue luminescence of the surroundings. This is why I was sent here, she whispered. I remember now. She placed her hands on the altar, and immediately the entire chamber hummed with energy. The crystals brightened, projecting what appeared to be star maps onto the curved ceiling above them. My people, the Astrave, we are watchers and guardians, Lyra explained, her voice stronger than Maya had ever heard it. We seed worlds with these way stations, nexus points that connect the cosmic web. The projection shifted, showing Earth alongside other worlds, some recognizable to Maya, others completely alien. Long ago, we recognized something special about your planet. Its position at a crucial junction of dimensional boundaries makes it uniquely important. Lyra's expression grew troubled. But something approaches a cosmic anomaly that threatens to unravel the boundaries between dimensions. Maya watched, transfixed, as the projection showed a dark mass moving through space, consuming stars and warping reality around it. Is it a black hole? She asked. Something more fundamental, a tear in the fabric of existence itself. My mission was to prepare this nexus to ensure Earth could serve as an anchor point when the time came. Lyra turned to Maya, her eyes reflecting the star maps above. But I was meant to awaken centuries ago, when the alignment was beginning. Now, we have mere days. Maya's scientific mind reeled at the implications. What happens if this tear reaches Earth? Reality itself would unravel. Not just here, but across connected dimensions. A noise echoed from the tunnel voice's flashlights. Reeves and his team had tracked them. Lyra pulled Maya behind one of the crystal columns. There is something else you must understand, she whispered, taking Maya's hands in hers. The nexus cannot be activated by an Astrave alone. It requires a bond of connection between worlds. A connection? Like what we have. Lyra nodded, leaning closer until their foreheads touched. What we began at the cabin, the sharing it, must be completed. Our energies must harmonize completely. The intimacy in Lyra's voice made Maya's heart race. You mean a union of body, mind, and essence, Lyra confirmed, her lips ghosting over Maya's. Our peoples are compatible in ways you cannot imagine. As the search party's lights grew closer, they retreated deeper into the chamber, finding a small alcove hidden behind a cascade of crystal shards. There, on a bed of soft mineral deposits, they surrendered to the cosmic necessity that had drawn them together across time and space. Their union transcended physical pleasure, though that was certainly present waves of sensation unlike anything Maya had experienced with human partners. As their bodies intertwined, Maya felt her consciousness expanding, touching the edges of Lyra's vast awareness. Stars wheeled through her mind, millennia of memories flickering like distant galaxies. I see you, she gasped, understanding Lyra completely for the first time. And I you, Lyra replied, her voice resonating directly in Maya's thoughts as they reached the peak of their shared experience. The crystals throughout the cave pulsed in synchrony with their heartbeats. Energy coursed through the ancient altar, sending a beam of concentrated light shooting upward through an opening in the ceiling, invisible to human eyes, but blazing across dimensional frequencies. Afterward, they lay entwined, their bodies still humming with residual energy. It's begun, Lyra murmured. The Nexus is awakening. Maya kissed her softly. What happens now? Before Lyra could answer, flashlight beams cut through their sanctuary. Dominic Reeves stood at the entrance to their alcove, flanked by armed agents. Dr. Chen, he said evenly, I believe you have something that belongs to us. She doesn't belong to anyone, Maya said. Stepping protectively in front of Lyra, the cave's crystal formations had begun to pulse with increasing intensity, bathing everyone in fluctuating blue light. Reeves signaled his agents to lower their weapons. I'm not here to hurt either of you, but what's happening here goes beyond personal attachments. The energy readings from this location are off the charts, visible from orbit. You wouldn't understand, Maya began. A dimensional tier approaching Earth's sector of the multiverse, Reeves interrupted. An ancient network of stabilization points. The HFY Guardians. He smiled at their shocked expressions. We've known about them for decades. Found similar chambers in Tibet, Australia, and beneath the Atlantic. We just didn't have the key to activate them. Lyra stepped forward, studying Reeves with new interest. You have encountered my kind before? Once? Norway, 1952? She didn't survive the awakening. Genuine regret colored his voice. We've been searching ever since, knowing time was running out. A tremor shook the cave, dislodging crystal shards from the ceiling. Outside, the sky would be showing signs, aurora-like phenomena, gravitational anomalies. The tier approaches faster than predicted, Lyra said. The Nexus is active, but not yet at full strength. What do you need? Reeves asked without hesitation. Access to your global communication network. The other way stations must be synchronized. Reeves nodded to an agent, who opened a laptop and began establishing connections. Maya watched in amazement as her former pursuer transformed into an ally. How long have you known about this threat? She demanded. Since the Cold War, both sides detected it. One of the few things that kept us from destroying each other. Reeves ran a hand through his hair. We've been preparing, but without an HFY guide. Another stronger tremor rocked the cave. The altar at the center began to rise, revealing complex machinery beneath technology thousands of years ahead of human development. The final sequence requires two who are bonded, Lyra explained, taking Maya's hand. We must complete what we began. They approached the altar together. Lyra placed her hands on two indentations, perfectly sized for her fingers, and Maya did the same on the opposite side. The connection between them surged open again, their shared consciousness expanding to encompass the entire network. Through Lyra's awareness, Maya could perceive the other nexus points awakening Tabet. Australia, the Atlantic, and dozens more scattered across the globe. Each contained similar technology, all connected through dimensions humans could barely comprehend. "Oh my God," one of the agents whispered, pointing to the ceiling where the projection now showed the approaching tier with terrifying clarity. It resembled a wound in space itself, edges fraying like torn fabric, darkness beyond anything natural pouring through. "Now," Lyra commanded, her voice echoing with power. Maya felt energy pour from her body into the altar, through Lyra, and out across the cosmic web. Their joined hands glowed with purple-blue light that spread up their arms and across their bodies. The sensation was ecstatic and terrifying, like being transformed into pure energy. The beam from the cave intensified, joining others from around the world to create a lattice of light around the planet, a shield against the approaching darkness. In their shared consciousness, Maya and Lyra confronted the tier together, not fighting it directly, but redirecting its flow, creating a channel that would guide it safely past Earth's dimensional space. "It's working," Reeves shouted above the rising hum of energy. The projection showed the tier beginning to curve away, following the path created by the activated nexus. But the power required was immense, draining Lyra visibly. "I can't maintain this alone," she gasped. Without hesitation, Maya deepened their connection, offering her own life energy. "Take what you need. I'm with you." Their essences merged completely, becoming something neither human nor Astrave, but a perfect synthesis of both. The cave filled with blinding light as the final surge of power completed the dimensional redirect. When the light faded, Maya found herself lying beside Lyra on the cave floor. The crystals had dimmed to a soft glow, and the projected images had vanished. "Did we succeed?" she asked weakly. Lyra nodded, equally drained. "The tier has been diverted. Earth is safe." She touched Maya's face tenderly. "But I am changed." "We both are," Reeves approached cautiously. "The readings are stabilizing. Whatever you did, it worked." He looked between them. "What happens now?" Maya sat up, noticing a subtle change in her skin, a very faint purple luminescence visible in certain light. Something of Lyra had transferred to her, just as something of Maya now resided in Lyra. "The Nexus will need guardians," Lyra said. "The Astrave once performed this role, but our numbers have dwindled across the cosmos." "New guardians could be trained," Reeves suggested. "Humans who understand the importance of this network." "With guidance," Lyra agreed, looking at Maya. "But my place is no longer solely with my people, nor solely on Earth." Maya understood what remained unspoken. Their bond had created something unprecedented, a bridge between species and worlds. "I'll need to make some arrangements," she told Reeves with a smile. "I believe I'm about to become the first human ambassador to the stars." Under the mountain, in the ancient chamber where worlds had been saved, Maya and Lyra sealed their future with a kiss that transcended species and time, proof that even across the vast cosmos, hearts could find one another. Together, they would walk between worlds, guardians of a network older than human civilization. Their love a beacon across the dimensional divide, a testament that boundaries, whether cosmic or personal, existed only to be bridged by those brave enough to reach across them.